coming to you live from Numancia, Aklan in Western Visayas in the Philippines. I'm having my morning cup of coffee in my coffee with Ginno cup here. My Copico Blanca, 3-in-1 coffee here in the Philippines. Coffee, cream, and sugar, all in one. Comes in this sachet. I can buy this for like 8 pesos each. So I get them by the 10 pack, 80 pesos, about $1.50 for 10 canned cups of coffee. Also, I have my Coffee Mate creamer, French vanilla creamer. I'm running out. I gotta hit the SNR store in Iloilo City. SNR is the Filipino Costco. Pretty much anything you can find at Costco, they might have it. They might have it at the SNR. I always start my live streams with the weather. I got my windy app here. There is a low pressure area right now. Low pressure brings a lot of rain here in the Philippines. It's by, I would say, eastern part of Mindanao, closing into Davao. But it's supposed to go northwest. It might actually even pass us here in Aklan province. It's bringing a lot of rain already. It's been raining all night. Serious rain last night. There was felt like torrential rain last night here in Aklan. And right now, it's being called tropical depression. I guess there's like different categories when it comes to tropical depression. I'll read them to you. Super typhoon is like the highest category. Then typhoon is next. Severe tropical storm. Right now they're considering it tropical depression, low pressure area. So that's like the different categories. It depends on wind. Usually the wind, how strong it is in the wind. They are calling this. Let me look through here. I don't make sure I'm reading my notes correctly here. They are calling this, as of 3 a.m. this morning, Tropical Depression Verbena. Verbena. This is going to be like the 22nd, number 22 typhoons for the year 2025. I thought we were done with U1. I thought we were done with like the last one, but this one, Verbena, with the letter V. So we're running out of the letters of the alphabet here. Right now it says it's 345 kilometers east of Surigao City, Surigao del Norte. Like I said, right there in eastern Mindanao. So pretty much eastern Visayas, central Visayas, our area here, rains with gusty winds. Tropical, caused by tropical depression Verbena. Possible flash floods, landslides due to moderate or heavy rain. Sometimes these tropical depression, low pressure area, they're kind of tricky. They might not have the strong winds that a typhoon or super typhoon have, but sometimes they bring in a lot of rain. And rain causes a lot of damage here in the Philippines. It could be flooding, landslides. Rest of Visayas, rest of Mindanao, pretty much we're going to experience rain today because of tropical depression Verbena. Metro Manila, Luzon area, Pangasinan, Central Luzon, cloudy skies with rains. Not by the tropical depression, but just like probably the wet season. We're still in the wet season here in the Philippines until we hit January. Usually we're done with the wet season here. They actually declared signal number 1 already. Signal number 1 is the lowest category here as far when they assign signal number 1. Rain and wind and all that is coming. Usually by signal number 4 or 5, that's when you're like in the eye of the typhoon. But signal number 1, mainly a warning so far. It says here, signal number 1, Occidental, Mindoro, Romblon, Masbate. Oh, my friend Michael White in Masbate. Eastern Samar, Biliran, Leyte, my good friend Belus in Leyte, Southern Leyte, Cebu, uh, pretty much Bantayan Islands, Camotes Island, Bohol, my good friend Ted, Journeys from Bohol, Negros Occidental, and then Iloilo, Capiz, Aklan, Antique, Guimaras, our area here. We are all now under signal number one, wind signal number one, due to tropical depression verbena. So more to come. I'm sure as it gets closer, I'm sure we're going to experience more rain, more wind here in our province of Aklan. All right, let me read the comments here. I got behind. Kevin Shores, hi Ginno. I saw your video about count your blessings. All right, all right. And that was going to be my topic today. I was going to discuss that counting your blessings here in the Philippines. A lot of times, I think you see comments on YouTube. I'm on a bunch of expat groups. I read comments. I'll make a comment there once in a while. Usually, I just like trying to read what the people here, expats here, foreigners here are feeling. A lot of times, I see foreigners, they always kind of notice like the negative. Maybe they've been here in the Philippines too long. Maybe they need to go back to where they come from for a little bit, vacation in the US, Canada, or whatever, or maybe tour another Southeast Asian country. But a lot of times people just like notice a lot of like the little things. And I think if you're that type of person, if you're like noticing like this bothers you, like the line at the ATM, the line at the supermarket, that can add up, over time. That might like overwhelm you at some point or your stay here in the Philippines. To me, I always focus on the positive. I always like focus on the blessings, man. It's like for me, walking on White Beach, Boracay, I could not be more happy when I'm walking on White Beach, Boracay at sunrise. To me, that is my happiest place on earth. When I'm walking by myself, I do see people on the beach and I'm filming them. It just brings a warm feeling to me, a happiness in my heart. I see people when they're on White Beach that early, smiles, nothing but smiles. They're taking pictures, they're taking jump shots, they're posing on the beach. Just like, for me, it's like, it just brings so much happiness to me. And then, I'll walk at certain sections where I don't see anybody. I'm just like walking on the water, waves splashing on my feet. I'm just walking, soft sand. To me, it's just like, people, I think sometimes they don't focus on the good. It's like, I think the more you focus on the good, the more you focus on the positives, the happier you will be anywhere you are. It doesn't have to be the Philippines. It could be in your own country. You could be in Canada. You could be in America. Like my good friend David, he's in Canada. This time of the year, he's already put the snow tires on his car. He's getting ready for winter. Snow is actually dropping now. And he does the same walks that I do. And he even shares videos maybe on his walks. And he's walking to like foresty area, nobody there, snow sometimes coming down. But I know, the feeling that he's feeling, the same feeling I'm feeling when I'm walking on the beach. Because like he is like enjoying his time with nature and just like being thankful that he's still alive. When we're in the fourth quarter of our life, man, you just got to be happy you're alive. You got to be happy that you're standing up. It's like that you woke up in the morning, that you didn't have the aches and pains, or oh dang, I might have to go to the hospital today, I might have to get checked by my doctor. Just be like happy that you woke up, that like, man, you feel good, you can walk, do your morning walk, have a cup of coffee. Man, you gotta count the blessings. You gotta count the blessings. Fortune, good AM, Ginno fam and the Panay Posse. Good morning, Fortune. Charlie Latz, good morning, Ginno. We just got our first bit of snow. Yeah, okay, here we go. I was just talking about that with David in Canada. It's like he always shares me when the snow hits, when it stays in the ground. He always shares pictures and videos of that for me. But I can tell he's like having fun, even in the snow. He's having fun because he's got a good life. He's got a good Filipina right beside him. It's like he is blessed. He is blessed. It wasn't a lot, but it was enough to satisfy me. Yes, see, there you go, Charlie, my good friend in Boston. So the first bit of snow, like, right, Charlie, you're excited. You're happy about the snow. It shouldn't be maybe down the road after months and months of it dropping. You're like, oh man, I'm tired of snow. But the initial, I remember that when I lived in Japan, that initial first drop of snow, everybody's like smiling. Everybody's like out there taking pictures with the snow. You just got to count the blessings like that. Anything that happens that makes you feel good, man, you got to celebrate that. You got to celebrate all the good in the world. JP, hello, Ginno and everyone. Fortune. J-Boy, hey J-Boy, good morning. Ginno and everyone. I actually have James and Karen came out with this video, long video, right? But I'm enjoying it. I got it on the screen here. I'm watching it while I'm halfway. I think I'm halfway through it. I'm on the, and I'll watch it again. I always just put James's videos on my TV here while I'm walking around here doing stuff. I'm on like the 34-minute mark. They're like moto vlogging. It's like filming with the Colonel here, with the Colonel. I just love, I love watching James and Karen's videos because these are the things that I used to do here in Aklan province. Not on a motorbike. I've never been like a motorbike guy, but on my mountain bike. I did a lot of mountain biking all over Aklan. And these were the roads. Those were the type of roads that I was ride on my mountain bike with my good friends. There used to be like a pack of us. I would say about 10 or 12 of us that we rode our mountain bikes all over Aklan here. Good. Buckle, did you know? Oh man, I did not know that, Buckle. JP, howdy, J-Boy, good day, Fortune. Here we go again. I always get questions like that. That's funny. Bizwax, good AM, everyone. Good AM. Aloha, Derek, my good friend in Hawaii. Belus, good morning, Bruska. Salute there, Belus. Yeah, I can see, Belus, how, the rainy season, it is long, from July pretty much to December where we get rain. To me, for me, it's just like, I enjoy like the wet season when it rains here, but it would be nice once January hits, and January to June, normally we get so many more days with sunshine. Monsters, Philippine, all right. Do you wear contacts? No, I don't. I don't wear contacts. These are prescription glasses here. Kumusta from Oregon? Hey, my good friend Lowell, good. God bless my brother. Welcome, Lowell from JP. That looks like in the Philippines, Annalisa. All right, I don't know who Annalisa is, but it's Camellia Homes. So if Annalisa lives in a Camellia Homes, similar type of setup. Small looking homes, up and down homes here in the Philippines. Camellia Homes is pretty much most of I would think 80 of the provinces in the Philippines got a Camellia Home. So it's a Villar family development here in the Philippines. Good morning, all my family. All right, Michael W. from Masbate Island. Hello, Thriving. Hey, Fortune. Belus, Kevin. Please don't forget to. All right, thank you, Michael White. Belus, people come here pissed off at the world or their place, thinking it's peaches, yep. People not happy. Like that lady hating on age gaps. She just hates men. Happy to be alive at this point. Yes, right, Billis. To me, I've mentioned this before on my live stream. If you're not happy where you're staying currently and you're thinking about the Philippines is not the solution for your unhappiness. A lot of people like me, a lot of other people find happiness here, but it's not guaranteed. No, the Philippines is not the cure. It's like you have to be happy where you're at. You know, it's like maybe you're running away from your country, or you're just not happy anymore there, and you want to try the Philippines. To me, that's a good move, because like, why not? You know, maybe you can find happiness here, but it's not guaranteed. You know, a lot of times, you know, if you're unhappy somewhere, it doesn't matter where you go, you're still going to be unhappy. Same thing, if you're happy in the United States, chances are you're going to be happy anywhere you go. You know, it's just, you know, it's the, I think the mindset of being happy, being content with life, you know, being, you know, what life you have, you're just happy with what you got. You know, it's like a lot of times people keep chasing something, and sometimes I don't understand it. It's like a never ending chase for something. You know, I know people older than me. You know, I'll be 60 next year, but I know people older than me still working, still chasing the money. And I'm like, do you think you're gonna live forever? You know, it's just like, I'm like, you know, like I've mentioned so many times before, retire as soon as you can. No, you know, I have not met a person yet that told me, I wish I was still working. I've never, all my 14 years here, I've never met a person. Most of the people I meet here that's retired here in the Philippines, I hear it from them constantly. Man, I wish I had done this 5 years ago or 10 years ago. They're thinking in their mind, man, I had enough money 10 years ago. I should have not waited another 10 years with the grind, because, you know, they realize that when you're 65, or, you know, you're that age, Social Security around 65, your body's not the same at 65 than it was when it was 55. At 55, you're able to do more things than at 65. You know, the what is that? The decay, or like the body just changes. You know, people always tell me that I'll be 60 next year. 60 is kind of like the magic number. Like when you hit 60, everything just starts like aching. You know, aching, everything. You don't move as like the way you used to. That's why, you know, a lot of times the people I meet here, they get up there, you know, they're 65, you know, close to 70, and then it's challenging to ride a motorbike at that time, right? You're not the spry chicken anymore. You know, it's hard. Like even Colonel, I was watching the video. Yeah, James and Karen and Tonton took the Colonel up the mountains in Manica on his motorbike. He's got a, you know, Colonel's got a nice motorbike. He got up there. I saw him, but I could tell by the Colonel's face, man. That was a workout. That was a workout to get up to the mountain on a motorbike. That's the way it is. We get older. When you're younger, man, when I was 45 years old, when I moved here to the Philippines, I can climb that Manica mountain there on my mountain bike, no problem. Man, if you ask me to do that now, to climb up all the way in the mountain there on my mountain bike, halfway through it, I might like pass out. You know, I might pass out. It's just the reality, and I think people don't think about that. They're always just thinking about, oh, I gotta get this amount of money. I have to have this certain money. I gotta be able to buy land. I gotta build a house. You know, and postpone retirement. And you know, unfortunately, you know, I know most of you have heard stories, and I have friends that within the year of their retirement, after they retire, the next year they're dead. You know, it's so unfortunate, because they didn't get to like all the hard labor they did, you know, 40, 50 years of working. They didn't get to enjoy it, you know, as long as they can, because they're in their mind, I don't have enough. You know, I got to like keep working. I got to build, you know, the nest egg. You know, it's like, you know, don't wait too long. You know, I always tell people that, don't wait too long. You know, it's like, that's why here, JP right here, I'm happy for JP, because like, he's like, you know, within 30 plus days of being in the Philippines, and you know, starting his journey, starting his like adventure, starting a new life, you know, just like living and enjoying. And I know when JP gets here, he's gonna have a blast here in Panay Island. He's already got friends. You know, JP's already got friends. He's got me. I'm gonna introduce him. You know, he's already in James and Karen's channel. We got the Panay Posse. We got a group here that we're assembling here, that when you come here, you're not alone. You know, you're not like the Lone Ranger. You're not the Lone Ranger. You come here, you got the Panay Posse. You got the Panay Posse here. Try being expat if you are new to that. All right, thank you, Michael W. Derek. Like Philippines Life, latest video, that was a nice house. Oh, okay, all right. I saw it on my feeds, but I haven't watched it yet. I think it's It's a beach house in La Union that Michael had filmed. I'll catch up, man. With my friends, with James and Karen, with Michael, that Philippines Life. These are a lot of videos. Like I'm looking at right there. The title of Michael's video says, "Is there a better beach home than this? La Union, Philippines." It's 45 minutes, man. So, that's why sometimes I just leave it on my TV playing because, I do want to see it. But, between him, 45 minutes, and then James here with 55 minutes, that's a lot of minutes of my day. That's a lot of minutes of my day. But I try to watch my friends, I try to support them. I'm at the mall waiting on Dazzle. I'm at the food court. I'm watching my friends on YouTube. I'm supporting their channel. I'll go on live. The Colonel, Michael White. I'll go on their channels and I go live because I just want to support them. I want them to be like successful. For me, we're all winners already that we're able to retire here in the Philippines. We're vloggers here, right? We're vloggers, but we're able to share our life, able to share it with you on screen. But to me, we're all winners already just because we're living the dream, man. We're living the dream. We're like experiencing life. We're out on the road. We're out on the beach. We're out on a motorbike. It's like at our age, you just got to be thankful that you're able to do that. Hi, Lowell from Thriving Expat. Count our blessings. Good to get reminder. Amen. Amen. Right, J-Boy? Right? It's like people sometimes focus on the negative. And I understand. I get it, man. It's like the grind, right? If you're still working, taking care of your family, taking care of the errands, the chores, the bills, the bills, it's like when the bills come, taxes, all that, sometimes it consumes people to where they don't get that joy anymore. They don't get that joy in their life. That's why I quoted Ferris Bueller. It's like sometimes, you just gotta stop and look around. Because if you don't do that, life might pass you by, and next thing you know, you're in your sick bed in a hospital. It's like wishing that you got the experience. Like for me, the last going on 15 years now. Come March, I'll be here 15 years in the Philippines. If something happens to me now, if something causes me to be in a hospital on my deathbed, I don't have any regrets. It's like I got to live the life that I wanted. Grateful for the last 15 years. It's like not many can say that they were able to retire, get 15 years or just having fun, not being stressed, not chasing money. That's why like I said, the soonest that you can retire, that you can afford financially, do it. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. Trust me. Thriving at J-Boy. All right, Thriving is Michael. Hey, Michael C. Hello, man. Michael C. was like, he was at the mall. He shared the video. He posted it on his YouTube. He was riding one of those. It's electric, like for the kids to ride, like a dinosaur, like a you ride it. And Michael C. was riding that at the mall, just having fun. Being silly. Just having fun. To me, it's like it brought a smile to my face when he shared that video with me. Good morning, bro. Just waking up. Up is a blessing. Think overall, people are not appreciative about that here because basics anymore. The basics are the big blessing. Yeah, just waking up in the morning and feeling healthy, nothing wrong with you. Man, it's just an amazing feeling. It's like the little things, the little things you got to appreciate. Belus, my morning Dazzle TV. It's positive vibe to start, let's say, in the Philippines. Cup of coffee. I know, right? You got it. It's like, I know coffee is probably not good for me, but this is my only cup of coffee for the day. I get one cup, so I get to enjoy it. It's like, I can't give up everything in my life. I already don't drink. I don't stay up late at night. I don't go to clubs, party, anything like that. So I gotta have my one cup of coffee at least, right? There has to be some kind of like, I can't give up everything now. Derek, I see Karen wearing her helmet. All right. I have to look at that now. I didn't notice that. I've seen the helmet, the full face. Because here, the full face helmet is required here in the Philippines. The back rider doesn't. The back rider can just have a half face, but the driver is required to wear a full face helmet. Oh, speaking of motorcycle, now I can confirm, because before people would tell me it's better to buy a used motorcycle than like a brand new motorcycle, because when you buy a brand new motorcycle here, that registration on the motorcycle and then the license plate is a headache. When you buy a motorcycle from the dealer here, they would make you they would give you a temporary plate, good for 7 days. And then after 7 days, you gotta keep going back to the dealership. They gotta keep extending it 7 days. I do not understand why they don't just give you like 30 days or 2 months temporary license. You have to keep going back. So I know that's been a pain for a lot of people. And also the registration, it takes forever for you to get the title on that motorbike on your name. Sometimes months. Sometimes it's incredible, depending on the province where you live, right? But the motorbike, remember Dazzle bought the motorbike, and this motorbike is a 2024 Honda Click, 7,000 kilometers, practically brand new. It's like we paid 50,000 pesos cash for it. So it was about $950. And in my hand, right? Not even 10 days. I got the title with Dazzle's name on it. That is so now I can confirm it is a lot better to buy a used motorbike than a brand new. If you're worried about registration, if you're worried about the title on your name, get yourself a used motorbike. I mean, it doesn't have to be like like really old motorbike. There's plenty of motorbike like ours, 7,000 kilometers, practically brand new. It's like I'm checking everything, rode it here in our neighborhood, really nice motorbike. And now right here is the title right there. The title on the vehicle now under Dazzle. It's under her name. And the expiration of this, because it's a 2024, so the expiration on this motorbike is not till 2027. When you buy a new motorbike in the Philippines, registration is good for 3 years. So right there, it says here, this renewal will be June 15, 2027. So I got like a year and a half, more than a year and a half before I even have to worry about registration. And the title, it's called the CR, Certificate of Registration. And here's the other one, Land Transportation Office. This is like the legit original title, all on Dazzle's name here. And then let me see here. And then the insurance, of course we got to get insurance, right? The insurance for 1 year under Dazzle's name is 728 pesos. 728, that's probably like $15, about $15 for the year. This insurance is from Alpha standalone insurance right here. So she's all set. And this insurance is basically liability. It's not full coverage. For me, I figure it's not, I don't know if there's a full coverage on a motorbike. I know in a car there is. I don't know if they even full coverage a motorbike, but the motorbike's only, like I said, 50,000 pesos. It's only 950. So if, and I know if it gets in an accident, I know they can repair that here anyway. It doesn't cost much to repair. But less than 10 days, we got the title under Dazzle's name. We got everything. Plates. I got plates on it. Don't have to worry about the plates. So I can confirm now, if I'm asked by people, is it better to buy a used motorcycle? For me, definitely. In my opinion, it's better to buy, because you do not have the headache of waiting on the registration, waiting on the title to be on your name. I know that could be, and then sometimes I hear expats, they can't drive it, right? Because without the title on your name, they don't want to drive it because they don't want to get pulled over and you don't have documents. Us, less than 10 days from when we purchased the motorbike, we got everything. This can sit on the motorbike. We can ride anywhere, no problem, no problem at all. Thriving. Buckle. You need to do more research. Pigeon. They just don't do that. They thank you. Right. I wasn't gonna answer. To me that was kind of like a. I didn't know. That was like out of topic. Out of topic. Your thoughts are like a magnet. What you think you attract to you, Captain Ron. I like it. I like it, Captain Ron, right? The more positive you are, you're a magnet to like positivity. The more negative you are, your life's not going to be fun. You're going to be in misery. You're going to be in misery. Please give the thumb up. All right, double tap on your phone. Thank you, Michael Belus. Morning, Thrive, GP, Fortune. God bless everyone. God bless everyone. John Vasquez, the alien guy, man. All right, I see you everywhere, man. When I'm on other live streams, I see the alien. When Leanna will be sent home. Yeah, Fortune. Right now, signal number 1. I took Leanna to school, dropped her off at school. If the minute they say signal number 2, I gotta pick her up. So it don't look like they will do that today. Oh, speaking of Leanna, I just posted this on my Facebook and on our YouTube. She got the honor roll again. I'm kind of proud of Leanna because when I started tutoring her, she wasn't like an honor student, but once I got her going, I got her interested in studying. She's been on the honor roll ever since. And now with Kumon, it's getting even easier for her. That's why I had to get Kumon because I felt like Leanna needed to get challenged more academically. And she's a first year high school, so I know time is gonna go fast. Next thing you know, I'm gonna be talking about Leanna attending nursing school here. It's like I know how time is. Time fly by fast. That's why I tell people all the time. Don't postpone your retirement over money. Don't postpone your, retirement. Do it, man. Just do it. Just like, take that leap of faith. If you do that leap of faith, start living. It's better to just start living because instead of just like dreaming about it, planning, people get stuck on that planning stages. They plan for many years. And what happens a lot of times? You get sick. Something happens to you health-wise that your plans, get thrown out the window. So while you're healthy, while you're able, while you got the means to do it, you got the money to do it, man, take that leap of faith. You're not gonna regret it. Oh wow, Miguel, what Netherlands? That is awesome. Netherlands. I've never been to the Netherlands, but it looks like an amazing country. One of the countries someday, I wouldn't mind seeing. I know Norway is another country, but I have a relative that lived in Norway for many, many years, and he always trying to convince me to go to Norway, but I never made it to Norway. And now he's retired here in the Philippines. So now when we discuss it, he always like, man, you should have gone to Norway when I lived there. I would have had at least a place to stay in Norway. Watching from the Netherlands. All right, Miguel, that's awesome. Good AM Blues. Hello, what should I do? Bad thoughts. Well, I'm not a therapist. If you got bad thoughts, you need to find a therapist to discuss that. That's another level. When you have bad thoughts, that's like, you need a professional. You need a professional therapist for that. Good AM, Michael C. Yo, Tim, my good friend in Las Vegas, Hey, Tim, Dazzle was just talking. We were just, I always go to bed early, but sometimes when Dazzle comes to bed, finally like at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., sometimes it wakes me up. And then usually when that happens, Dazzle and I, we end up talking, for a little bit. And we were actually talking about you, Tim, because Dazzle was saying, man, I could tell Tim is cool. Tim is cool. It's like we can tell that if you were here, Tim, we would be good friends. We would be hanging out all the time. That's what Dazzle said because Dazzle likes your vibe. She likes the stories you tell me when we're on the phone together when Dazzle's by my side. she likes you, man, because like you're like a genuine. You tell it like it is. You don't, so that's why he said, man, I can't wait to someday meet Tim from Las Vegas. Because sometimes, you know how some people, we meet people sometimes that we meet them online first, of course. And then when we meet them in person, there's something that disappoints us, or, oh, I didn't think that guy was like that. That kind of vibe. But for Tim, I can tell, it's like, he could, Tim will be one of my brothers if he's here in Aklan someday. Everyone, all right, thriving. Kevin, Michael C, John, Fortune brought back Maggie to UP today instead of tomorrow because they will tour Bangko Sentral of the Philippines. Wow, making money. Wow, printing money, man. I would love to see that, man. I would love to see that. Printing money, man. I've only seen that on videos, even in the US. I've never seen like an actual printing money kind of thing. Man, that's so cool. That's so cool, Fortune. Hi, Miguel. Man, this vlog, man, I'm watching that James did. It's really nice. I love the motor vlog. Feel like I'm on the road. These were the same roads I used to like ride on my mountain bike. So I remember these, it's like it goes from cemented roads to dirt roads to gravel to mud. It's just like so much fun, right? Watching this video. There's mom. What did you think somebody was? Oh, the trash. Our trash pickup. They just picked up our trash.
The trash.
And David still in Hawaii. MW David. Oh, I know there's like I think he one headed here. What somebody. I saw that on another live stream. Yes, Josh. He is at the airport trying to get standby or private jet to fly. Wow, private jet, man. All right. I'm sure he's excited. To get here. John Vasquez. All right. Prayers, brother. Said hi, Burgess. SpongeBob. All right, that's Dazzle SpongeBob there. Somebody always mentions it. Somebody always mentions SpongeBob. That belongs to Dazzle. My best friend from Hawaii. I gave that to Dazzle as a present. To like, subscribe, and tell Ginno when you do. I say done. All right, thank you, Michael W. I have a master sergeant, sheriff, and a colonel on my list. I know, right, GP? You got friends, or you're not even here, GP, and you got friends already. And how awesome is that, right? How awesome is that? We are like making a smooth transition for you here in the Philippines, making it like a soft landing here in Panay Island. Michael Malalastas, magandang umaga, Master Sergeant. Maraming salamat, Michael. Magandang umaga, kaibigan. Hi, Borgis. Let's push for 25 likes. All right. Thanks, Michael. Having a circle is very important. Locals, here, security, shopping for fair prices. Things we can do, it's a blessing to have them. Oh, yes. And the thing with, people always, they'll mention to me, oh, I get skin tax, skin taxes there. Once you come here to the Philippines as a foreigner, the longer you stay here in the Philippines, you're going to know the prices. You're going to know like at the local market, the fish prices, the produce, the fruits, how much a tricycle ride is, how much a jeepney ride is. You're gonna know that over time. You're gonna learn. Maybe in the beginning, you might pay extra. A lot of times when foreigners start here in the Philippines, they're in the habit of tipping. The tipping culture where they come from. Here in the Philippines, this is not a tipping culture. It is okay here not to tip. A lot of times I taught this to my friend. I teach him this. When you go at a fancy restaurant here in the Philippines, and when I talk fancy, it's just like where there's a waiter or a waitress. That's fancy here. That's not like, it's not fast food. Always check your bill for a service charge. Sometimes those order restaurants where there's a server, there's a waitress, waiter. They'll put service charge there, right? If they put service charge on your bill, don't tip. They're already charging you a tip. For me, you should have the option for that service charge, in my opinion. If they put a service charge, I'm not tipping unless I really was pleased with the service, right? But this is not a tipping culture. Many times I eat at restaurants here, people just leave without a tip. You do not have to tip here. Unlike in the US, it's almost a guy delivering your pizza expecting a tip from you, or sometimes a taxi driver expecting a tip from you. It's not like that here. The Philippines is not a tipping culture. Southeast Asia in general, if you travel in Southeast Asia, like when I was in Japan, you don't tip in Japan. It's an insult to Japanese if you tip them. That's kind of like saying they were terrible or something. So, it's a different culture here in Southeast Asia. Unlike in the US, I'm hearing it's like when I was in the US before I left, everybody was waiting for the tip. It didn't matter if it was you got horrible service. It's like they're like expecting you to tip them. Morning mate, insert. All right, Brian. All right, morning mate. Bizwax. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. Ferris Bueller. Amen, brother. Right? It's like don't get into that. I hear that term matrix all the time. I hear don't get so busy in your life that you don't stop once in a while and just like look around and enjoy it. Because like it goes fast, man. I sometimes I can't even believe it that in March I'll be here in the Philippines for 15 years. 15 years. I'm like 15 years. It feels like I just got here. It felt like, man, I can still remember when I first landed in Boracay, almost 15 years ago. Now 15 years just like flew by like that, man. Brian, good to see you. Change your name. All right. Hey, Daniel, my good brother there in Jacksonville, Florida, the Panay Posse. All right. I was getting too much confusion with Sam. All right. So Brian, at least now Brian, I'll know at the end there. I know Brian makes it easy for me than trying to sometimes figure out the handle and the name of the person. Ginno, wish I would have met ya, found you 15 years ago. Hey man, at least you met me now. Right? You met me. I will assist you. I would help you the best way I can to make your transition here in the Philippines smooth and soft landing. Thriving. They don't do that in Masbate with the registration of plates. Takes only a month now to get. That's awesome. See, that's a thing too here in the Philippines. Somebody had questioned me about land title. Same thing with land title, registration of vehicle, anything to do with government here. It is province to province. Each province operates different from another province. It could be here in Aklan. It could be next door to Antique. They operate totally separate, totally different. So that's why you can't generalize here in the Philippines. That's why I'm careful when I explain things here. I always say, well, here in Aklan, this is how they do it. Because it's not the same. Even like a city, if you're in Iloilo City, you're in Manila, compared to Calibo, they operate here. A lot of the things here, a lot of the government agencies, even banks, they operate like as their own separate entity. 2 banks here in Calibo could be Banco de Oro here. You would think they're both Banco de Oro in Calibo, right? So you're thinking, I should be able to do my transaction at either one. It doesn't work like that, because here you have to designate your branch. Like the branch that I belong, my account is in this branch. If I go to this other branch of Banco de Oro and I try to do a transaction, they're gonna tell me, go to your branch. They go to your main branch. It does. There's just so many things like that here. You can say it's bureaucracy, inefficiency. Like in the U.S. If you have a Bank of America account, ATM, credit card, Bank of America, you can go to like all across the United States to a Bank of America, and you should be able to do your transaction. You can probably even go online, get an operator and help you. Here, it just doesn't work like that. It's like every single bank operates different from the other same name bank, same Banco de Oro. It could, man, they could be next door. They could be like a block away, but they operate. They're the manager of that bank, the manager of the other bank. They will operate differently. You can get, it's what's important here is a lot of times is who you know. If you got somebody inside in that bank or inside the LTO, the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicle here, if you know somebody inside the government agency where you need help, like for the title of your house, if you have somebody there that works at the registry of deeds or the regional court in Calibo, it's an easier process. If you know somebody at the Bureau of Internal Revenue to pay taxes on your property or taxes on anything, if you know somebody inside there, it's an easier process. It's like if you don't know anybody, you're gonna be in a long queue. You're gonna be in a long queue unless you find somebody that can assist you. Thriving expat. Hi, Sergeant. Make copies ORCR. Yes, that's what I'll do. Thank you, Michael White. Great tip from Michael White. Like this, I'm gonna go to the copy center right outside our gate. They just opened a copy center. I'm gonna copy all these documents here, including insurance, everything. Leave the copy in my car, and the original stays in the safe here in the house. Never bring your originals, because if you bring your originals, somebody just might work it today. They change the title on your motorbike to their name that they sold that you sold it to them. Be very careful with that here. Never carry your original documents in your vehicle. Saw that too, Derek, that in La Union, nice place, Typhoon Pass, there was a lot on the way out, but well built. Yeah, I'll have to watch that. I have it on my screen here. That's why I read the title. I'm still watching now. It says here, exploring mountain villages in remote Philippines. Gene Sinclair. I got him playing on my laptop here. Hey, something simple. All right, Michael S. I have to give you the Michael S, Michael W. That way, it's like. Good morning, everyone. Happy Philippines Monday. Oh yeah, I know, right? I know it's Monday here because Liana, on Monday when I take her to school, she has cleaners. Monday is her day to clean the classroom, the surrounding playground area where they, right outside their room. And also they have flag ceremony today. And it's not raining, so probably they would have done flag ceremony. Unless the grass in that area, unless it's all muddy, and then they'll cancel flag ceremony today. Thriving said hello to Michael. Ginno, you buy the bikes and we'll rent from you. Hey, go ahead, man. I got one for rent here, Josh. So we're gonna build it. Like I said, we're gonna start with one rental. Dazzle, she's gonna be like the boss when it comes to the rental. She'll be happy to rent it to you, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see if it's rented all the time. We might get a second motorbike. That's the plan. Actually, that's going to be a business of Dazzle that she will be doing. And we'll only rent to people we know. We're not going to rent to strangers off the street. We're not hard up to make money on the bike. I can just keep it parked there until an expat reaches out to me and tells me, do you know of a motorbike? I do have a motorbike. And then, the bike is a little bit high for Dazzle to ride in. So now we're looking at, there's called a Honda Navi, Navi. It's a 110cc. It's more like a city bike, lowered, it's low to the ground. So it fits Dazzle, the Honda Navi. The MSRP on it is like 58,000 pesos, so about $1,000 on the motorbike. That will be in Dazzle's future. She will have a motorbike called the Honda Navi. Good morning, Michael Lee W. All right, from Michael S. Thriving. Hello, hello. Ford, JP from Daniel. Josh Wilson, thumbs up. All right, JP. Hello, Daniel. Something I learned, Daniel said, the secret book deeply focus on 5 positive blessing things in your life daily. Yeah, I mean, if you got books like that, Daniel, you got like routines that you do that every day you're thankful for like 5 things or whatever you're thankful for every day. If you have a routine like that, that will only improve your life. I think people sometimes just forget. They take the simple things for granted, waking up in the morning, standing tall, healthy, no medical issues, just waking up every day to that. To me, that's a blessing as it is. As I've gotten older, more and more of my friends, unfortunately, as all we're getting older, when we chat, it's like, dang man, I gotta go get checked again. I got this thing going on with, you appreciate more that the days when you can wake up and you're healthy. It's like me. I'm thankful every day. Good morning, Brian, for Michael and a sergeant Sergeant Daniel. Thriving. How have you been? Oh, hey, Che, I see you there. Inday Che, I see you. Like I said, Dazzle, her nickname is Inday too. So everybody on the family, Dazzle is the Inday or Dai for short. Good morning, Che. JP, my bad, Daniel. I am still loading new fishing line on my reels before I pack them away. Stevie and I, we've been chatting. He actually has more messages on this phone. He's been fishing the whole time he's here. Stevie can't get enough fishing. He can't get enough fishing in Katiklan, JP. And he's met friends. He's got Ernest, Kuya Ernest, Ate Geraldine, Benji. Those are the guys taking Stevie on fishing. So to me, that is just so awesome, because I'm busy, it's like I got a lot of stuff going on with Leanna, with Dazzle, my family, and the more people that are moving here, of course I can't dedicate, I'm limited to the amount of time, I want to hang out with James and Karen, the Colonel, I got limited time, so it's great for me when like the people I help move here, they make their own friends, right? It's like Stevie's only been here 2 weeks and he's got friends already. Edgar's been here 2 months and he's got a bunch of friends already that he hangs out with. He goes karaokeing with. He goes swimming with. It's like, to me, that's like it helps me and it helps them. I know I'm happy when I see that. I'm happy when they share photos with me because I know they're adjusting. They're not alone, right? They're not alone. They got people that they can hang out with. It's like that's all I can ask. That's all I can ask, of the people that I help here, that they're meeting friends and they're starting their life here. Like I said before, if you come here to Kalibo and I assist you, you're not obligated at all to stay in. If you don't like it, I just want that soft landing for you. I want you to introduce you to people, see, at least get you like on that, get you a good base, It's one thing when you land here and you don't know anybody. Oh, all right. Hey, Lelong just messaged me. Lelong is my do-it-yourself guy, that's gonna put the air conditioner. He just messaged me. He goes, I'm on the way, bro. So I'm like, hey, man, it's like, finally, I think we bought this like 10 days ago. Finally, we're gonna get our AC installed, our new AC installed here. Although it is good to tip individuals. Yes, I agree, Brian. I do too. If it's good service, it's outstanding service, I would tip. But it's not a tipping culture here. If you don't tip, it's not like the guy will be like giving you the eye, like, man, this guy's horrible, he didn't tip me. It's not like that here. They'll still say, hey, thank you, sir. Please come back. You will still get that here. In the US, if you don't tip, man, watch out. Don't come back and eat there again because they'll remember you if you don't tip. Yeah, totally agree about service charge and some less honest employers will take some, exactly, right? You're not even sure if the service charge goes to the employees, right? I ran a resto bar. We had a resto bar in Malay, so I know my competitors. People talk to me when, some owners here, they're not, they don't treat their employees well. They don't. Morning, Michael, Derek. Today you just put tip on your credit card. I did see that a lot of things here in the Philippines, credit cards are not widely used, especially here in our province of Panay Island, maybe in Iloilo City, little bit maybe in Roa City, but a lot of businesses here don't have the availability for you to use your credit card. And even like debit card, when they, credit card, debit card, they have that unit that they have, like a lot of times it's offline. They'll put your card in there and they can't get it. They can't get internet. It's a handheld device. They put your card in there and they're trying to move it around the building and they're trying to get a signal, trying to get, it's doing that thing, because, we don't have the infrastructure here, not the best infrastructure here when it comes to internet. Philippines is still a cash basis. Like if you're purchasing a motorcycle for like 100,000 pesos at a dealership here, cash. They're not, not all dealerships will take credit cards, especially credit cards from the US. And if they do, there's going to be a 3% or above charge that because you're using a credit card. Most people I know here, most expats I know here, when they purchase anything, they bring cash. I brought cash to pay for my car. I brought 625,000 pesos to the cashier at Toyota Aklan in cash to pay for my car. It's like cash basis here. More and more people are using GCash. If you're a tourist, when you get here, you have to wait for your ACR card in order to open your GCash here. You can open the GCash, but you're limited. You're not verified. They say you might have like a 5,000 peso limit a month, but the minute you get verified, you get your ACR card on the tourist, it goes up over 100,000 pesos a month. So that's becoming more common. Cash and GCash, but credit cards, debit cards, still limited. In our province anyway. In Manila, probably you can use your credit card anywhere in Manila. They're pretty high tech in Manila. Hello, Michael White from Inday. All right. Good AM, Daniel. Good AM, Michael S. Good AM, Josh. Good AM, Brian. Morning, Fortune. Hey, Fortune. Cloudy this morning, but will be a great day. It's still cloudy here too. It rained all night last night here, Michael. It was like a lot of rain last night. Good, MW. Looks like cooked one of everything in the ocean today. Oh, Michael White, MW. I was like, all this abbreviation kind of like throws me off. Yeah, I mean, when Michael in Masbate, when he goes like fishing, they catch all kinds of fish, all kinds of different items out of the ocean. So awesome that he gets to experience that every day almost, every day. Morning, Josh, from Michael. I have traveled the world as vacation 30 days a year, 17 years before forced retirement. Yes, thank God that you met your wife, man, in 2018, man. Life-changing for you, Belus, I'm sure. Like, when you meet that good woman, when you meet the right Filipina, your life just like improved tenfold. Your life just changes. Life-changing. That's why I always tell people, man, meeting the right Filipina is going to be the biggest decision you'll make here if you're single and retired. That is going to be the biggest decision you're going to be making. It's like finding the right Filipina. As you want. Yeah, right? This country can be as busy as you want, as chill as you want, all up to you. All up to you. It's like, you see James and Karen, I'm watching it. I'm watching a video right here. He's in the waterfalls. Like, check that out. How cool is that, man? How cool is that? He can do this any day he wants. He can get up this morning and James said, man, I think I want to see a waterfalls today. And you just get on this motorbike and go. To me, that is living. That is living the dream. It's like, how many people can do that? On a Monday, on a Tuesday. Like today, I know they're going fishing today to catch that big catfish. The big catfish in Libacao. It's like, how on a Monday, while everybody else has to go to the office, sit in traffic to go inside the office. Here, James is riding his motorbike to go fishing for giant catfish, for a good-sized catfish. Speaking of taxes, always pay in January to get the discounts. Oh, good tip. Me, for the motorbike, I just follow like the motorbike, my tricycle is the same, Bumblebee, our tricycle. June is the registration, and then our car is September. So I just kind of keep that dates in my head that, the last digit of your plate is when you have to renew. Make sure the renewal of the registration, also the insurance, renewal of the insurance. American taxes thrive. Yeah, for me, I file online. Yeah, I use H&R Block every year. Usually January, I'll get my statements. I get taxed for my military pension. That's the only income. I got YouTube now. That's another income. So I have to pay taxes on my military pension from the United States Air Force and the income from YouTube, because my YouTube is registered in the United States. So I have to pay taxes on those. Every year, I file online with H&R Block. JP, it's fishing stuff, all forgiven. If it's all forgiven, you get that. What's that, Daniel? You get the fishing exemption. It's like, and when it comes to fishing, you're forgiven. Everything's forgiving when it comes to fishing. Or the Philippines. I do not pay a single tax here in the Philippines. Brian, the only time you will pay taxes here in the Philippines if you're making money here in the Philippines, if you have a registered business here in the Philippines. But your income, your pension that comes from another country will never get taxed here in the Philippines. They're just happy that you're here spending your pension, if you're SRRB, whatever tourist visa, whatever situation, they're just happy that you're here in the Philippines. When I owned the Resto Bar, when Dazzle and I owned the Resto Bar, we had to pay taxes, local taxes, because the Resto Bar is operating in the Malay, municipality of Malay. So we have to get business permits, fire inspection, blah, 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 all kinds of fees that you got to pay. But if you don't have a business here, if you're fully retired here, your pension from your country will never get taxed here. Bless many, trust few is my motto. All right, understand? Hey, gotta keep your circle small, right? And trusted. I agree with that. I agree with that, Belize. Works for me. To me, like, to get in my circle of friends or my circle of trust, it takes a lot. It's like, I'm careful because some people, unfortunately, they might present themselves like your friend, but then you find out they talk behind your back. They do things that are shady. I've experienced that, and that's why my circle of friends is small. But if you're in that circle of friends of mine, you're my brother. I will do anything for you. It's like I will help you with anything you got going on here in the Philippines. My experience now, going on 15 years here, I pretty much know how things operate here, but I'm still learning. I'm not a know-it-all. You can still teach me. I'm not one of those guys that they think they know everything. I'm not like that at all. I know things change and I'm always learning. I'm always like eager to listen to people because I'm like, ooh, I did not know that. I did not know that. Thanks, bro. I will make copies of my WeGo paperwork today. Yes, definitely. Never carry your ORCR, the original, in your car, man. Because if they somehow steal your car and the original documents are there, that's dangerous. That's dangerous. They can falsify bill of sale, all that. Next thing you know, that the title on your car is no longer your name. So be careful. Good advice for Michael W. there. Never carry original ORCR in your vehicle, your motorbike. Always just keep copies in there. Don't rent. Just let guests borrow. Yes. Yeah, because that could create if you rent, that could create like a business thing. That's why for us, for Dazzle and I, it's gonna be like people we know. How many Pogi points is Batman getting? Batman is getting a lot of Pogi points. Batman is like, everybody that sees Batman is the name of Dazzle's motorbike, the Honda Click. She named her bike Batman because it's all black. I mean, there's no striping of any color. It's like the Dark Knight. It's all black. But getting everybody that in the neighborhood here, when they're riding around in it, they're like, "Ooh, nice bike!" Like, everybody's like, definitely, I would say a 9. I would say a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 Pogi points for Batman. Dazzle might have to wake up earlier once she has a bike. Yeah, well, like I said, J-Boy, it's not like we're gonna be advertising on because if you advertise it on Facebook, whatever, that becomes a business. Then we would have to get business permits and all that. We're gonna rent it to people that we know and that we trust. We're not just gonna hand a motorbike to somebody that's not in our circle, right? It's not gonna be people that we know and trust. It's not like we're not hard up to make money on it. We wanted to have the bike available because we get it all the time. People that come here to Aklan, they're always asking, Ginno, where can I rent a bike? Where can I rent a bike? It's like, so why not rent it from us, right? Why not? Honda Navi has tall seat. Yes, I will, for sure, Michael W. I will make sure. We're gonna go to the Honda dealership. They didn't have the Honda Navi the other day. They said they have to order it, so we're gonna wait. That's why we're not purchasing in a hurry. That's why we want to make sure that there's a display model where Dazzle can sit. Make sure she can put both feet down on the ground, that she sits comfortable on it. Not too tall. You bought it for my daughter. All right. Thank you for that, Michael W. Have her try the Honda Beat, Suzuki Smash. Okay. I just noticed, like, with the Honda Beat, it's kind of like our Yamaha Mio. It's still a little high. I mean, Dazzle can put both feet down, but she's on her tippy toes, and I want her to be comfortable. I want her to be like both feet on the ground. I mean, I guess she can wear like shoes that have like lifts on it or something, but I want her to be comfortable. It's not a rush for us to buy it. It's one of those things that it's a nice to have. It would be a gift to Dazzle. Maybe her 10th wedding anniversary gift when we celebrate our 10th wedding anniversary. I just want Dazzle to. For us, man, it's all about just having fun now. It's like I've gotten to the point now where we've got a nice nest egg built. We've got everything paid in cash pretty much. And I'm so close now to my Social Security, about 2.5 years left before I get my Social Security. So, saving, I mean, we still like to save, but it's not a big priority anymore. We're able to like buy things now that, that brings a little joy to our life. Fun things, we're able to take more vacations now. It's a fun time. For me, it's a fun time in my life. It's like I've always had a good time here in the Philippines. Never been bored. Happy of my retirement here, but nearing getting my Social Security, that's a good amount of money every month that I will start receiving to include with my military pension. I just feel blessed. I'm at the point now where like I'm able to like treat Dazzle to like a motorbike that she wants. Prepare Leanne, set aside money for Leanna, for her college. Building all these funds, that way I can make sure my loved ones have a good life here. I am still picking fishing gear that I will send to myself on the Balikbayan box. All right, hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing, you can't have enough fishing gear, right? I know people that like fishing. You cannot have enough fishing gear here. When are you coming here? Daniel is a 2-digit Daniel, triple D, and then double digit Daniel is what we call Daniel now. Michael, he's less than 90 days and counting. 90 days and counting for Daniel, and he'll be landing here in Calibo. I'm gonna be assisting Daniel. Same thing I'm doing with Steve. That I just did for Edgar, Stevie, JP's next, and then Daniel. They're all kind of getting in line, you know. JP is like 30 days plus. Daniel is 90-day plus. You know, it's like we're building a nice group. We're building a nice group here in Panay Island. Morning, good morning, Fortune, Mike, YJP. Watching your channel first, Ginno. I always perfect to flow into the start. Oh, thank you. So kind, my brother. I appreciate that. I wake up happy, blessed, and thankful. You set the tone. Nothing but positive vibes. Oh, thank you, my brother. Thank you so much for the kind words. That's what, you know, I would not be doing these live streams if I don't exude that vibe. If I don't add anything positive to like the YouTube world or to you guys watching, why would I do it? You know, it's like I'm not making a lot of money out of these things, you know. For me, I just want to share my life. I want to be a positive force. I want you to see that there's good life here in the Philippines. Wherever you are, whatever if you're like in a low time in your life, I've helped people like that. Those are the ones I'm really proud of. I've helped a few people now where when they reached out to me 2 years ago, they were a low point of their life in America, have gone through divorce, have gone through a bad time in America, and they were looking for just like to bring back the joy in their life. And for me, I'm most proud of the people that I've helped move here, and then they find partners here. And my good friend in Mualboal, Cebu, he just proposed to his Filipina. They're getting married soon. I mean, I could remember years ago, he was not in that state of mind. Now, when I see we're friends and he sends me pictures, he's got a big smile. His Filipina treats him so good. I mean, you know, those are the kind of things that, you know, when I'm gone on this earth, at least I left that kind of legacy. I left that legacy where I helped a human being. I helped another person reach that. Maybe a small part. I played a small part, but that's the kind of legacy I want to live. You know, I don't want to live a legacy of like just making fun of other people, disrespecting people. You know, I don't get those. I guess because that's for money. You know, people do that in YouTube, but for me, that's not the legacy that I want to live. You know, when I'm gone someday, you know, it's like if you know, people remember, man, that was a good guy. You know, he helped me when he didn't have to. You know, he didn't charge me money. You know, it's like, you know, you hear this vloggers like charging people for consultation. I will never charge anybody. That's not me. You know, it's like, I don't do YouTube for the money. SG, I think Amazon here. I'm going to start loading some fishing gear as well. If you're in America, hit estate sales. Yeah, I remember those, Bilus. Estate sale, garage sale. Man, you can, a lot of balikbayan boxes that, you know, there's people here that do business, balikbayan, you know, they'll open like, sometimes in their house, in their garage here, they'll open like a little store and they buy, you know, they have relatives in the US. Dazzle's actually going to be doing that with my sister. My sister in the US, she likes going to estate sales. She likes, you know, finding good deals, right? And she's shipping. She already has one box shipped already to Dazzle. And when Dazzle gets here, Dazzle will sell it here to like people in our neighborhood or online. You know, it's like that's common. You know, a lot of people, you know, a lot of that stuff in America that people think are throwaways in America, garage sale, whatever, you know, here in the Philippines, you know, there's still prized possession. You know, people here like, wow, it comes from the US, you know, it's like a nice quality. That's what's American products. That's what they're mostly known here. If it's made in the USA, you know, it still exudes that quality. You know, there's a lot of ukay-ukay, a lot of thrift stores in Kalibo. When you go to Kalibo here, you know, it's a big thing if the products came from the US. You know, if the products came from China or Korea or something, you know, it's not as a, it's like the thrift stores, the ukay-ukay, they're known, oh, they got a lot of US products there. Thriving. Brian, I am talking about Philippine property taxes, but Think USA has the same early pay discount on taxes. Yes, Michael White is talking about, because Michael White has property that he paid off, that the title is under his name. So every year he has to pay property taxes on those property here in the Philippines, because more likely the property is under his wife's name. So every year you can get a discount by paying taxes early, early payment, or a discount, a small discount with your, again, it's different for each province. I mean, it's even different from each barangay here, or each municipality. Here in Aklan, there's like 17 municipality. So the land here, our land in Katiklan, it's like, we have to pay property taxes on the land we bought in Katiklan because the title is now under Dazzle, so she has to pay it. But their process there to our house is different. From municipality to municipality, they collect differently. They have different rules. So that's why I'm saying you can't generalize here in the Philippines. You have to know where you are in your area. And like I said before, this house right here is still on a mortgage. I do not have a title to this house. I have 4.5 years, give or take, to pay off the loan, our $200 a month on this house, our mortgage. So I do not have to pay property taxes on this house. I don't have the title yet. I don't know who pays it. I don't know if the developer, I don't know, but I'm not obligated to. And if I do have to pay for property taxes, the property taxes here in the Philippines are not like in the US. Very low property tax here, because I know in the US, the property taxes in the US, it pays for the schooling in the area. It pays for cops, anything like within the city or within the community, right? The property taxes, like certain areas like California, Florida, has super high property taxes because the city where you live, they provide a lot. Parks, they provide a lot. Here in the Philippines, if I buy land here in Numancia, the Numancia, the mayor or the municipality assessor, they don't provide anything to the citizens here. That the elementary school, the public school Liana goes to, that's free education for Liana in our community. It's not funded by the town of Numancia. It's funded by Department of Education. Department of Education is kind of like the national, kind of like federal government in the US. So a lot of these towns, like here in the province, they don't bring in a lot of money, property tax. That's why they're not able to build a lot of things. Our police station in Numancia is like one police station, and it's not very big. We don't have a lot of police. A lot of the barangays here, the several barangays, it's run by a barangay captain, and then the barangay captain has tanod. Really, it's a different world. It's a different world here in the province. I mean, it's a lot different if you live in Iloilo City. Now, in Iloilo City, if you're living in Iloilo City, that's more, probably more what you're familiar with. If you're living, like, let's say in Seattle, Iloilo City got a bigger government structure, bigger police force, got guys giving you police on the street. Here in Numancia, in Calibo even, I rarely see any police in uniform. Rarely. It's always just like, they're called auxiliary police. They'll have like a t-shirt and says auxiliary police. No weapons. They're not carrying weapons. They may have like a stick, like a arnit stick. That's all they're carrying. And they're not writing tickets. They don't have the authority to write tickets. Most of the time, it's just a warning. They'll give you a warning about things. It's just a different dynamic here. You won't, that's why when you come here, there's so much things to like, ooh, I didn't know how that worked. Ooh, I didn't know how that worked. There's just so many things here that it takes time. It takes time for you to learn. Brian, Ginno, there's an old Chinese saying, one illness, long life. No illness, short life. Meaning that if you have experienced serious illness, you take care of yourself better. I agree with that, Brian. It's like, I went through a life or death situation, right? I went through cancer treatments, and so I know that feeling. I do not, it's like, I take better care of myself now. Not that I didn't before. It's not like I was abusing my body now, but I'm more particular now of what I put inside my body. So true, Brian. Got my ticket to Tokyo. All right, March the 2nd. All right, man, March the 2nd. Dang, Daniel, that's not far, man. That's not far. I mean, we only have a few days in November now, man. That's not far at all. 15th of March. All right. Okay. Thanks, Tribe. Thankfully, they are not too expensive there. Yes, Brian. Taxes here. Nowhere near the taxes that they charge you. Property tax, insurance, like housing insurance. Nothing here, man. Like my mortgage insurance here, something happens to me, my mortgage is paid. It's like $80 a year. My housing insurance for destruction, typhoon, fire, or anything, is less than $100 a year. That's how much I pay. And then my mortgage is $200 a month. So to me, it's almost just like renting. It's not cost. That's why we bought the house. That's why I bought the house, because I was thinking, man, when I lived in Calibo, I was paying 7,000 pesos a month. Now that we're living here, we've been living here now for going on 10 years. I'm only paying 11,000, only 4,000, only about $75 a month more. So it made sense for me to just go ahead and purchase a house. And we like living here. I like living in a gated community. The biggest thing for me that I like living in the gated community is I can walk my dogs out, and we don't have stray dogs. No, I'm not worried about another dog attacking my dog. I love my dogs, especially Chloe. That's our baby. Chloe's 11 years old. She's like a scaredy cat when she sees other dogs. So I love that I can walk them out on the road here. No worries at all. I don't see poop on the road. People in our neighborhood, we all carry plastic bags. We pick up poop from our dogs. So I just like that discipline. That alone to me is worth living in a gated community because of my dogs. That's how much I love my dogs. It's like when I lived in Calibo and I had to walk Chloe, I didn't have Totoy back then when I lived in Calibo. Many times I had to grab Chloe and protect her from dogs that are want to attack her. It's like, that's why when I found out that they were building a gated community here, I signed up right away. Okay, thanks, Tribe. There we go. Captain Ron. Daniel, good book, The Secret. Have you watched The Secret? Dare to Dream movie. Ooh, wow. Man, let me take a photo of that, Captain Ron, because I love these recommendations, man. I love this recommendation. Usually when people recommend, it's good. Usually when recommend this. Maybe all you guys could set up a rental advisory business for incoming expats, seeing that you're all in different regions. Yeah, I mean, the thing, Brian, it's like for me, I'm getting to the point now where I'm really busy. It's like with a YouTube channel, making video, doing live streams, communications. I'm getting to the point now, man. If I take on another project or anything, that's why I start passing stuff to Dazzle. The rental thing. That's all Dazzle, because it's starting to I don't want to get overwhelmed. I want to provide people with the same assistance that I've always provided. But it's getting to be, it's getting busy. It's getting busy. I know I have to lean more on Dazzle now. I'm having less time. I noticed I'm having less time to have fun. James is always inviting, hey, Ginno, let's go here. But I got responsibilities, with Leanna, with her school, taking Leanna to Kumon, I wish I had more time. Like I said, I'm never bored. I'm never bored. Do you use Gcash? Yes, Derek. I mean, I use Gcash all the time. I pay my electric bill, my cable bill, my and everything. I pay Gcash. My memberships online for Netflix. We have a membership for that. We signed up memberships when we were watching the Dodgers. Now we signed up for membership for NBA TV because Dazzle and I were to watch the NBA. I think we pay 500 pesos a month so about $9 for our all access to the NBA games. So everything's Gcash. Everything's Gcash. I can even use Gcash at the 7-Eleven for sure. Even the Sari Sari store next door to you can use Gcash now anywhere. I can go to Calibo. Most of the stores in Calibo, even like the food court, they all take Gcash. They have like that like a QR code, and you just do your phone, do the QR code, and send them money on your Gcash. You know, lot more convenient, right? You know, than always carrying cash. I always load my Gcash. It's always got money. Like I think on this phone, and Dazzle's phone has Gcash. My phone here has got Gcash loaded on it. We never run out because a lot of our subscriptions for Netflix, for NBA TV, it gets automatically deducted on our Gcash. It's on a monthly plan where you can cancel it anytime. I can cancel it anytime. I got the secret DVD and watch it often. All right, Daniel. I might have to borrow that DVD. Not that I have a DVD player. You know, if it plays on my laptop, man. JP, Daniel, if you figure out how to send fishing rods for a reasonable price, let me know. 5-pound box, 300 plus. Yeah, that's too much. That's too much, JP. Derek, Gcash is almost more reliable than using your bank card. Yes, especially in the provinces. You know, everybody uses Gcash here now. You know, it's like it's almost a transaction. I can go to like the barbecue stand where they cook barbecue, and the person will have a Gcash account, and I can just send Gcash to that account, and I'm buying barbecue sticks. You know, it's that readily available. It will not surprise me even like the street vendors, the bola, the balut vendor, pretty soon will take Gcash because it's on your phone, you know, and everybody carries a phone here. It's hard to find anybody that doesn't carry a phone here. Brian again, tipping is not normal for Aussies, so the service charge grates a bit. Yeah, right? You know, even for me, man, I don't like it, you know, when I eat at restaurants, a lot of times I don't go back unless they're really good restaurants. I do not like the fact that they put service charge on to me, service is like, if I'm happy with the service, I'll tip. But don't put a service charge, you know, you're automatically charging me. I agree, you know, it like, doesn't come out good with me. You know, it's like when I see that service charge, okay, I'll pay it now, but I might not be coming back to your restaurant. I have no problem with tipping workers directly. Yes, because that's the problem, right, Brian? They're getting the service charge, but you don't know if the employees, that your server is actually getting that tip. A lot of owners keep that money. They feel like service charge is like the restaurant owns it. And to me, that's not what service charge is supposed to be, right? The owners are already making their money, you know, so why are, you know, they're not taking care of their people. That's why it irks me too. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of service charge here in the Philippines. Yep. Cash paid even farms. Crazy. 5 people counting at attorney's office. Millions. LOL. I know, right? You know, you go to places here, man, and you could see transactions happening here, like Belus is saying. People purchasing land at an attorney's office, and they're counting cash in the millions. Stacks of cash, stacks of 1,000 peso bills, and they're counting it in the attorney's office because transactions here are handled in cash. You know, I don't think I'm sure they got a way to get a cashier's check from the bank or anything, but people just trust cash here. You know, that's why even at, you know, those scandal now, those flood control projects, the bribes, the corruption, all that. It's like bags of money, you know, bags of money. They count money by the bags, by the suitcase. They're counting money by the suitcase. Kind of reminds me of Breaking Bad. You know, it's like, you know how Skyler was like measuring the money by a scale because she couldn't count anymore. She's just like seeing how much weight the money was. Never done that before, Belize. For one, I was wealthy. Derek, I met my Filipina wife in Olongapo City, married Oh, congratulations, Derek, man. That's so awesome. I have friends that are like that, we were stationed in Clark Air Base when we all got, sent out of the base, Mount Pinatubo, and they're still married to their spouse that they met in the Philippines. That's so awesome. Man, that's so awesome. It's like, right on, property tax or miliar. We pay this week to get a discount. All right, all right. That's awesome, Fortune. Congrats, Derek. Brian, unfortunately, tipping culture is slowly happening in Sydney. Some restaurants, if you have a group booking, they'll automatically do the service charge. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that automatic service charge. Just like that's saying that they provide good service. I mean, that's pretty much saying that you're going to be charged whether they serve you bad or good. You should have the option that if you're not happy with the service, there should not be a service charge, right? At least give me the option that say, man, that was the worst service I received. Can you take out my service charge here? At least give me the option. Don't charge me for service if it was terrible service. That doesn't give the staff or the restaurant incentive to provide good service, in my opinion. Ooh, bro, all right. Cashier. Thriving. Ginno, the taxes I was talking about is property taxes in the Philippines. Yeah, I got that. The property tax. I don't have to pay that on this house, but I know I have to pay it in our property in Katiklan that Dazzle bought last year. Not motor vehicle. You must make your own property every year. And don't, yes, I understand. I know that's why Fortune just mentioned he's got to do that too. I don't discuss a lot of the property tax here, Michael, because a lot of the guys are just coming here. I always tell people if they're just coming here to the Philippines, just rent. Just rent in the beginning. The ones that are worried about property taxes are the ones that's been here a while, has a Filipina wife that has property. A lot of people on the channel here, they're on the way here. A lot of times I notice, and I'm cool with it, it's like, a lot of times I notice it's the people that aren't here yet that's really watching our channel, and that's why I provide the support. But once they get settled here, I don't hear from them as much. And no, I'm not offended. It's like, to me, it makes sense. If you're coming here to the Philippines, you need the information. You want somebody you can trust, somebody honest giving the information. But once you're in here, once you got settled in here, you're learning the ropes. You don't need Ginno anymore. You don't need me anymore. And I'm not offended by that. Like I said, I just want to help people get here, make that soft landing. Once you get your soft landing here, once you find your Filipina, and that's the thing. It's kind of like, how when you have buddies, you're all single, right? The minute your buddy meets a Filipina, or the minute they get married, you kind of lose that buddy. He's not gonna be hanging out with you like he's not gonna be running to Vegas anymore or doing Cancun anymore as single guys. And that's the same dynamic here in the Philippines. I've seen that. Once the foreigner gets here, we're friends and all that, we hang out. But once they meet their Filipina, they're, I understand that. That's more priority now, right? The Filipina, especially if they get married, I might not ever see them again. I might not never see them again. Discount at least 20%. Oh, nice. Good discount. I'll let Dazzle worry about it. Like, I know the land in Katiklan we bought, she'll take care of all the taxes, All the land that we bought, it's all Dazzle took care of that. I did not sign one document. It's all Dazzle. Everything. The motorbike's the same thing. Everything's on Dazzle's name. To me, it's just easier because, when I'm gone, it's already in her name. She don't have to do anything. It's like, to me, it just makes sense. It's like, I'm 29 years older than Dazzle, so I know I'm going to be gone sooner than her. So when I'm gone, at least everything's already in her name. She don't have to go through the hassle of getting the death certificate, doing all that. I'm transferring all of my assets to Dazzle. That's how much I trust her. That's how much I love her. It's like, if she throws me out the door, hey, it is what it is. But I don't think she would do that. I don't think, That's when you know you got your ride and die. You know you have your ride and die when you trust her completely. J Boy, I have seen that in ordering apps and figured that apps in America, I always put zero, right? Right? Put that zero in there, man. They can't be like charging you right away for service. If it's bad service, why would you pay for bad service? That's the way I look at it. It better be good service. This is family. No need. Oh yeah, exactly, exactly. I just read. I just skip through it. When we get trolls like that, Michael White. It's like, I mean, we all. That's why it don't bother me. The trolls don't bother me. I can just skip it. I refuse to tip. Hey, Brian, I can't blame you. Man, I refuse to tip here too. I mean, in the Philippines, they can call me kuripot. They can call me kuripot. Is like you're frugal, you're cheap. They can call me that. I don't care if they call me kuripot, man. But I want the option to tip. I do not like it when you automatically assume you had good service and I had to pay for your service. I am very sorry. All right, all right. JP, I won't eat a balut for any of you guys. Just saying. hey, I can't blame you, man. I won't eat a balut either, JP. You're not alone. You're not gonna make me. There's not enough money to make me eat a balut, man. Brian, when you go to some actual restaurant, they charge 10% automatically. Sydney for you. Yeah. I don't dig that, man. I'm not a fan of that automatic service charge. I will eat a balut for you. There you go, Daniel's Adventures. Man, Daniel said, I'll eat a balut. Man, Daniel said, I'm eating a balut. Ever thought about... I hear no. It's like, I'm pretty much done with businesses. We tried it. We had the Resto Bar a few years back. It's too much work. For me, when you decide to open a business here in the Philippines, be ready to get stressed. Making money, opening a business here in the Philippines equals stress. This thing that Dazzle's doing with the one motorbike, to me, it's more like, it's not a business. It's not a full one motorbike. How hard? And then if we don't rent it, we'll use it, right? So to me, it's just having a motorbike available for one of our friends that want to use it when they come here. And we charge, I don't have the kind of money Michael White has. Michael White, he's got a lot of money. I don't have that kind of money to have something free that I have to maintain. And most of my friends understand that. They're not expecting me to provide them with a motorbike for free. I have to pay maintenance on it. I have to pay insurance. I got to registration on it, right? And it's not like I'm going to rip them off and charge them. They're friends, They're going to get the friendly rate with Dazzle, I'm sure. Really, J-Boy? I would vote with my feet. All right. Bugger that. Bugger that. Yes, Brian. Sydney looking its way, unfortunately, getting too expensive. All right, hey, Rev Red, thank you for joining the live stream, Rev Red. Hi, bro, God bless, my brother, JP, Honda Navi seat is 30 inches. All right. We haven't seen it in person. We did walk by it, but it was on the street when we saw the Honda Navi. So we haven't gone to the dealership and sit on the bike and see how it would feel for Dazzle. If it's too big for Dazzle, we won't buy it. It's not like a pressure. It's like for us, it would be kind of her toy anyway. Kind of like for her to ride around, because Dazzle was thinking when JP gets here, she wants to ride with JP, ride with James, on her little Navi motorbike. But if it doesn't happen, It's like I have the money set aside. I can purchase it for her. J Boy, do you get extra Pogi points when you carry your fishing rod on your bike? Not from Filipinas. The Pogi points that Dazzle's mentioning is like to attract Filipinas. Fishing pole's not going to get you Pogi points with Filipinos. Most Filipinas I know here don't fish. It's like more the province girls, it's like, but a lot of Filipinas that work in Calibo, that have a job, they don't have time to go fishing. You see Dazzle, you see Mom have time fishing, Karen has fishing, because none of them work. Most of your Filipinas that work here, if they're a working Filipina here in Aklan, fishing is not high on their list of things to do on their day off. No pogey points. No pogey points for the fishing. You get pogey points. Dazzle's talking about pogey points. It's like when you have a Honda ADV that's got that box in the back, that's got that saddlebags, got all the gear, fancy GPS, whatever, just a cool looking bike. It gets pogey points because like when you're riding in it, you don't have a Filipina yet. It gets that, ooh, wow, it's a nice bike. It's a nice bike. And they go, afam too, afam. And then, ooh, no girlfriend too. That's the pogey points that Dazzle's talking about. You will see that when you get here, JP. You will see that, what Dazzle is meaning about the pogey points. Hi, I'll borrow Michael W's bike and scratch or wreck it. Learning then rent from Dazzle. Once I learn, oh man, that's cold, Josh. That's cold. Hey, good morning, Mom is back downstairs. Pogey points, another term I've got to learn. You got to learn. That's the pogey points that Dazzle's talking about. You get the pogey points for having a cool looking bike. The typical expat bike here, the Honda ADV or the Yamaha NMAX. 155, 160cc. That's the popular ones that you'll see expats. And then, of course, if you go higher than the 160, you're going to get more pogey points there because they're going to go, wow, that's a really, really awesome bike. And usually you will see that. You will see, if you go to the Canadian Beaver, the motorbikes parked there in the front. When the expat, when it's time to leave or they arrive at the Canadian Beaver, with their fancy bike, the ADV with all the gear. I mean, there's a lot of aftermarket gear that you can put on the ADV and the Yamaha NMAX. And when they pull in there, usually, you got that Filipina in the back already. Usually, but the ones that don't have the Filipina in the back, they're single. They're single and attractive to like Filipinas here looking for an afam. James and Karen, good morning. And chat, hey, good morning, James. I was watching your video earlier with the Colonel. Looks like you gave it was a workout. It was a workout for the Colonel to get up to Manican, the viewpoint. But he made it, right? He made it. And I know he had fun. And watching the live stream yesterday, Tonton was barbecuing the pork, the baboy, the native baboy, the ones that move around. They're not like the corralled. They're not the domesticated one. But and then I saw Tonton even delivered some to the PNP. There's like a police PNP station right there. Awesome viewpoint, man. That's like an awesome viewpoint. Beautiful, beautiful area there. Brian, property taxes are shockingly low. Yes. For me, it's not shockingly low because I know the Filipinos, especially here in Numancia. I'll give you an example. Numancia is more farming area, a lot of rice fields. These farmers can't afford no high property tax. Heck, they're having trouble, with their rice field putting money, putting food on the table. That's why a lot of the mayor's office, the municipality tax assessor, very low. They don't tax people here. And like I said, they don't the money that the tax assessor gets for the municipality. It's not like they need the money to they don't pay for a lot of things in the U.S. like parks, right? You got to pay a community swimming pool. Sometimes the police in that area. We don't have many police in Numancia. I've hardly ever see a police. They have a police station by the plaza, and if you walk in there, there's usually like 2-3 people in there. But I never see a police walking around the streets here or at the intersection, or at Liana School, the guard, the crossing guard. They're all just Filipinos in like regular street clothes. They might have like a Numancia Auxiliary Police T-shirt, but a lot of those people, they're paid by the barangay, by the barangay captain. Captain Ron, JP, some expats brought their fishing rods in PVC drain pipe on the plane. It's thinner than the white PVC pipe. Don't know what the airline charges. Being debt-free makes you a rich man. So true, right, Daniel? You know, it's like, debt, if you got debt, it just like, that creates stress, man. You get debt. When you're living like what you have, you're paying cash, less stress, definitely. If you meet a Filipina and she says that you're pogi, that's a good sign. All right, I know, that's a good sign, And most of the time, Filipinas, that's the thing, It's like, I know people say, it's that, the older expat, the younger Filipina, all that, they think negative. Some people think negative, but to me, it's like the expat, the foreigner, the AFAM, it's attractive to a lot of Filipinas here, because when you meet an AFAM, when a Filipina meets an AFAM, it improves the Filipina's life, and not just the Filipina, but the Filipina's family too. So to me, it's not a negative connotation where the older expat meeting a young Filipina. To me, it's like, if both sides are single, both sides are happy together, to me, nothing wrong with it. But you get your bashers all the time that bash that relationship. Be safe, all up to the. All right, Belus. All right, God bless, my brother. As you arrive for you, locals, building to fish. All right. Take care, brother. JP Daniel, if I have to watch you eat balut in person, I may puke. You may puke. I think Daniel can handle balut. Daniel's a world traveler too. I'm sure he's eaten stuff in his life that. 98 days in a week. Who's counting? 98 days in a week. Sharing is caring. Ginno, as you vlog. All right, thank you, Belus. 36 days for me. JP says 36 days. JP, to send your fishing rods, buy 4-inch white sewer pipe and caps inside rods and send. But all reels in the bag. Balikbayan box, cut the short as you can. You guys making me jealous with your countdown. J-Boy, all right, man. Sorry, well, J-Boy, start planning, man. Start planning. It's like, what? Liana made the honor roll again. Yo. Way to go, girl. Yeah, I mean, she's been, mom, like, the last, I would say 2 years. 2 years, Liana's been on the roll in her school. And I know that Comon's just going to help her even more. Things are getting easier for her in school. It's okay, Josh. I will put you an old scratch of bite. I will. You're genuine, Ginno. Much respect. All right, thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words, Michael. Michael S., you're being quiet, sipping that mushroom coffee. The mushroom coffee. I've never had mushroom coffee, but I mean, if it's natural, I'll try it. It's like mushroom. I eat mushrooms, so. Captain Ron. Current plan is the fishing rod box is my second check bag. I can do that, but will be down to 1 suitcase for everything I am bringing. You would be correct, Josh. You would be correct, Josh, from Michael. JP, I ship my rods that way. Use white 4-inch pipe. Something simple. Balikbayan. Balikbayan box sounds like a better idea for fishing rods. Hey, J-Boy. Balikbayan box, largest size I can find, 24-18 by 24. Good day, Michael. Josh, I will be chatty Chucky later when I go live. All right, chatty Chucky. Thriving, what company did you ship with? Manila Forwarder. Manila Forwarder was 14 years ago. Called the Balikbayan Box Shipper. See? Congrats, Liana. All right, thank you, thank you. Even the pipe idea can be used. Hey, thank you, Tim. Appreciate that, my brother. Put a heart on that. Thank you. Nice job, Liana. I will give her the money today. She'll be happy with that. She'll take it to 7-Eleven for sure, Tim. Right, Mom?
Thank you.
The,
Yeah, right.
yeah, right. The minute Leanna comes home, it's just the minute I hand Leanna that money, Tim, she is headed straight to 7-Eleven.
Yeah. Get some drinks.
Get some drinks. Let's get some drinks. Good AM, James and Karen from Fortune. Michael W says, good morning, James and Karen. Time to get busy. All right, take care, Michael. Thank you for your time, Michael. Have a good day, Michael W. Looks like TV show. I love it. Looks like a TV show. Thank you. A Chapo. Thank you. Congrats, Daniel. December 2 is already next week. I know, man. It's Thanksgiving is this week. You know, we're having our get together at the 8 Bowl Tavern, and I know the Colonel, James and Karen, they said they're coming, so we'll see. No pressure. Like I said, like whoever shows up to our Thanksgiving dinner at the 8 Bowl Tavern in Calibo should be a lot of fun. Hello, James and Karen from JP. JP, Manila Forwarder will ship your rods in PVC. You need to ask them how much. Thank you, Michael. I have planned American-made telescopic rod case with wheels. Wow, fancy, man. That part of my 2 remaining storage unit. Just paid my last unit fees and have 30 days left. 30 days left. All right, man. No more storage fees for you, Daniel. I know you'll be happy not spending money anymore on storage fees. The nearest Balikbayan shipper for me is over 200 miles. GP, I googled shipping fishing rods Balikbayan box 200 on Delta in 2022. 8 long PVC pipe. Gcash is owned by Globe, who is owned by oh, thank you for it. I never knew that Globe owned Gcash. I mean, they're making money. They're making money on Gcash. I don't know a person in the Philippines that doesn't have Gcash. Pretty much everybody got Gcash here. Edgar, hey Edgar, thank you for joining the live stream, Edgar. You guys fishing for the wrong things in the Philippines. No need for that's funny, Edgar. No need for fishing rods. That's funny. You guys are, according to Edgar, you're fishing for the wrong things. I might just pay for the extra bag and not worry about it anymore. Fish are cheaper. There you go. Captain Ron responded to Edgar. Fish is much cheaper than Filipinas. It's cheaper than Filipinas, but not as much fun. There you go. Hey, as long as you know what you're fishing for, right? I mean, it could be fish, it could be Filipina. It's like we're all different. We're all like I said many times on the channel here. There's something for everyone here in the Philippines. There's people that come here, they want the peace and quiet, province, Aklan, Panay Island, perfect for that. There's people that come here for the fun. There's people that I know. There's people that go to Angeles City, go to Dumaguete City, wants the bar scene, wants the partying. I got a friend in Dumaguete City. Every time on his Facebook, he's drinking, he's in a swimming pool, he's got girls around him. Nothing wrong with that. Like I said, you do you. It's like I'm never gonna judge anybody for what they do here. As long as you're not harming anyone, as long as you're single, you're dating a single person. To me, nothing wrong with that. We all have different things that we consider fun. The main thing is you're living. It's like you are enjoying your life. What do you mean, Edgar? JP got the saint. JP's like a saint. When I went to BDO recently, someone came in with check-in suitcase full of cash. I have yet to see that, in person, but I've seen people they're not escorted by the security guard. You can tell it's just their own money, right? I have seen people bring loads of cash to a cashier and they had to count it in the machine for a deposit. I have seen, I don't know how they got the cash. I'm not gonna ask. But that happens here. A lot of transactions in the bank here. That's why those transactions makes the bank long lines at the bank, long queues at the bank, because they got to double count the money, signatures, manager has to sign. A lot of like transactions like that happen. I don't know. I don't know about the flood control kickbacks. I haven't seen that, J-Boy. I haven't seen that yet. But I have seen people walk in the bank here with like backpacks of money. And they would like drop the money on the cashier. And the cashier, it seems like it's like a normal thing, because they'll start grabbing the money, putting in that machine, and then wrap it, and then start stacking it. And I'll be sitting there like, ooh, that's a lot of cash. That's a lot of cash. JP, I have a telescopic rod tube, but know from my former employment, tubes a large surcharge, or a large, because they're long, right? They gotta occupy space on the plane, I'm sure. LOL Edgar, J-Boy says LOL Edgar. Edgar, fishing for a lovely, caring Filipina, much more fun. Hey man, it's like nothing wrong with that, right? It's like I said, at least you know what you want. It's like you're single, nothing wrong. If you're dating a single woman, and then nothing wrong with that, man. Captain Ron, what do you use for bait, Edgar? That's funny. What do you use for bait? That's funny. I drive about 4 to 5 miles to pick up my pizza. Papa John. Oh man, I love Papa John, right? They got that banana. I like when I used to eat Papa John, they had that banana pepper. I like biting into that banana pepper. And then I remember Papa John has that garlic butter sauce in the middle, when you order. I don't know if they still do that. There is a Papa John here in Manila, because when I flew a long time ago, I flew in Manila. At the airport, I was like sitting at the airport, and I said, oh, Papa John. And I got a couple of slices of pizza at Papa John at the airport in Manila. And every time they ask for a tip. No, not for, I don't agree with that. I don't, but I do know, I worked for Domino's Pizza when I was in the military. I think I was an airman, 2-stripe, 3-stripe. I delivered Domino's Pizza at nighttime on my off-duty time. So I did rely on the tips, delivering pizza. Sounds like Edgar got some nibbles. Sounds like Edgar got some nibbles. Edgar and Captain Ron. Ginno, I always need you, brother. I know, but hey, brother. Edgar, I'm your brother here. Anything you need from me, I'm only a text message away. I check up on Edgar. I message him. He's my brother. I know the reason Edgar is here in Calibo. I have a lot to do with that, So I have, when you move here to Calibo and when you move here to Panay Island, I take that responsibility serious. I want you to have a good life here. I'll do what I can to assist you. I'm always a phone call away. I'm always like, I felt like, there's a feeling in me like, I want you to be happy. I want you to be successful. It's like, I'll do what I can. I'll do what I can. That's why it's keeping me busy. That's why it's keeping me busy here. Edgar, when you use a fishing rod, it's easier to toss the bed. It's easier to toss the bed Mustang. That's funny, Daniel. Good AM, Edgar. Hello, Fortune. I always be checking in on your lives, Ginno. I look forward to meeting you. Same here, Michael. I already know, Michael. You and Che, when you hang out, when you meet each other in person, and me and Dazzle, we will have a good time. I already know we got the same. We're kindred spirits. We like the same things, and I can tell watching your live streams. We have the same thinking, the way we think, the way we respect the Filipinos, the way we respect our Filipina. We pretty much live for their happiness. What makes Dazzle happy makes me happy. For you, what makes Shay happy makes you happy. That's why I know we're like kindred spirits already. I know we're gonna enjoy each other when we meet each other. We're gonna be four couples that can have fun together. You sound like a chump. You sound like a chump. All right, no worries, man. I can take it, brother. It's like I've said many times, man. I'm United States military. I spent 20 years in the United States active duty. There is nothing that you can tell me that I can get offended. It's like I've heard it all in the military. We get yelled at all the time in the military. So nothing, trolls, comments. Hey, bring it, brother. Keep bringing it. Like this vlog. Hey, J and K, Edgar. Sorry, we can pass the bad ones to JP. We can pass the bad ones. Oh, that's cold. That's cold, Edgar. No, JP. Let's not pass the bad ones to the JP. JP, Captain, I just checked my airline. $100 if it's the third bag. I can handle that. Oh yeah, that's not bad. $100, for your favorite fishing rod. That's not bad at all. Many areas in Florida have seen 50 plus. I believe it, Daniel. I've seen that on some YouTube videos, how property taxes has basically run out people in those neighborhoods, right? They're forced to sell or can't afford the homes anymore. Foreclosure, unfortunately, for some. Hey, the Colonel. Good morning, Brother Ginno. Good morning, Colonel. Good morning, Colonel. Good morning, Ginno and all from Ted. Journey. I saw you, Colonel, on that video with James and on the live stream, of course, when you guys were barbecuing, and I just finished watching the video. The challenging to get up on that Manican viewpoint on your motorbike. But I'm glad you made it. I know it was challenging, but I'm sure the view made it all worthwhile, right, Colonel? When you see amazing views like that here in the Philippines, you go, that's, with me, when I used to do trekking here, walking through the jungle, and then when you see at the end a waterfalls, that's kind of like the payoff. Same thing with a view like that from a Manican viewpoint in Libacao. And I know you mentioned yesterday you guys are fishing for catfish, right? So looking forward to the fishing for catfish, the Colonel's Chronicles channel, and of course James and Karen's Adventures channel. Josh, hi Colonel, Sir Colonel, hi Colonel and LB. If you want earn Pogi points, the Yamaha Sniper 155 has a score. Yeah, I know. I know what you mean. Those are popular, Ted, with the locals. I know a lot of the younger Filipinos, they like the Yamaha Sniper and the Yamaha Raider. I've seen them, and they lower it. They lower the bike. Like, I don't know. I'm sure that's kind of like when you lower the bike, on humps and on potholes, that could be hard. But that's what they do. They lower the bike. And they remove the mirrors. I'm sure it's not legal to remove your side mirrors. And they do all kinds of modifications on that Sniper and on the Raider. But you know how young people are. It's probably kind of like the same thing in the U.S. where you low ride your car, right? You drop down your car. So here in the Philippines, it's a thing. It's a thing for the younger Filipinos. They like to lower their motorbike. That cool bike you saw in the alley. Okay, all right. I saw several. So the Sniper, I'll have to look through it again. I see so many bikes here. Actually, I was walking in Calibo the other day, making a film in Calibo, and I was just amazed. Everywhere in Calibo, it's like hundreds of Pastrana Park, hundreds of motorbikes. And one thing I noticed is like, their helmets. Everybody just leaves their helmet on the handlebar. And I even mentioned it on the video. Some of those helmets, like the Evo helmet, they're not cheap. They're like 4,000, 5,000 pesos, and people just leave it right on top of the handlebar, sometimes on the seat. They don't even hide it in a box. It just sits on the motorbike. I don't know if that would fly in Manila. leaving your helmet like that. But here in Pastrana Park, I have it on film. I'm walking around. I'm seeing all these helmets just like sitting on top of their motorbike. Josh, James and Karen's bike reviews need to include Pogi point statistics. Pogi point statistics. By the time I arrive in PH, I'll be about 2 years since started my plans to move to PH and be permanent resident. Do the SRB. Yeah. For me, it took a year. It took a year. I did my recon in 2010. It was like February 2010. And when I came back from that 1 month vacation here in the Philippines, I knew that I was moving to the Philippines. So that was the start of like getting rid of my stuff. I had my list of like the place I want to be. And my goal was to get to like 1 suitcase and a backpack. And it took me a year. It took me a year to get to that point. But so I know the feeling. For you, it's 2 years. For me, it took 1 year. Dean Bortel, hey Dean, hey buddy, all right, my good friend in Colorado Spring. Hello, Dean. Good morning, hello. I'm gonna run through the comments here really fast because I'm usually at the 2-hour mark is when I try to like end my live stream. There's other vloggers. I'm sure James and Karen's a Colonel, Michael S. They're gonna go live stream this morning. I do not want to take up their time. Edgar, do you walk around? Jigging the jig like I know Stevie mentioned about the squid jig. He brought some squid jig from the Filipino jig. That's right. Stevie has been using jigs here. Yeah, Stevie's using that for squid. Stevie's fishing for squid. JP, it's the blue eyes. It draws them in. True, right? Good tip. It does. Man, Filipinos love the eyes of the foreigner, the blue eyes. That's that. Pogi points. Pogi points. If you got blue eyes, green eyes to a Filipina, that's pogi points. You get pogi points for the eyes. Good morning, Ginno. Hope all is. Hey, Lasita, my good friend in Maine. Good morning. Good morning. Everything's well. Everything's well. I'm gonna try to end the live stream here. Start my day here. I'm kind of hungry. I did eat like a little bit of cereal earlier, but I want like a good breakfast this morning. I think I'm gonna make me a quesadilla or a burrito, a breakfast burrito here. JP, hello, Colonel. Edgar, really? I guess you are not going to be on the tamale list. You're not gonna be on the tamale list. JP, the bad ones make you appreciate the good ones much more. Now, I see that. I see that. It really does. It really does. I see that, Edgar. Can you recommend another hotel near the Piccolo? I can't get more than 2 days for my trip in February. In that area by D Mall, that's the one that I've found that and I actually stayed that I like. So it's hard for me to recommend a hotel if I hadn't stayed in it. If in that D Mall area, that's the best one that I know. Piccolo. Message me on my contact information. I'll find out what you're looking for, what your budget is in Boracay. My contact information is in all our videos. On the description box of the videos, my contact information is there. Kaan, magandang umaga, sir. Magandang umaga, kaibigan. Do you have any life advice? Life advice, like, the one I made the video, count your blessings. Always focus on the blessings in your life. To me, if you do that every day, if you wake up every day, thank God that you're alive. Thank God that you're healthy. You will find happiness. If you focus on the negatives in life, it's just gonna send you to misery. If you're looking for advice from Ginno, that's how I live my life. I live my life looking at all the positives. There's negatives that happen to me like everybody else, but I just shrug those off. I'm always grateful for my life. Edgar, that will be like when you get a balut tamale, slip in some of that balut in the tamale. That's funny. Thank you for the answer. Ingat ka. Salamat, salamat. Ingat din, kapatid. All right, I'm gonna end the live stream right here. Thank you so much for joining the live stream today. Hope you picked up something. Hope you had fun. Hope I was able to entertain you. Everyone, take care. Have a good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and always stay blessed. Always.